I saw her in a photograph, taped behind a diner seat, smiling like she owned the world and never knew defeat. She used to work the corner booth, pouring coffee, dreams, and cream. I was young and chasing thunder, too proud to ever dream. She'd sing along to Springsteen with a voice too soft to stay, and I'd pretend I didn't notice while my chance slipped away. She called me cowboy once or twice, though I never had the boots, just a heart afraid of quiet and a suitcase full of truth. Back then I didn't know her name, just her laugh and how she moved. I thought love was for the settled, not for boys who still had grooves. Now the jukebox plays reminders of the time I can't reclaim. She gave me light in passing, but I never knew her name. She left that job in '83, said the town was far too still. I heard she made it out to Denver, married some man on a hill. I stayed behind with habits like the chair she always used, and wondered if she ever thought of the boy who never moved. I tried to write a letter, but I never had her last, so I fold it in a whisper and sing it to the past. Back then I didn't know her name, just the hum of her goodbye. I was too in love with leaving to let her even try. Now my hands are full of nothing but this old cafe in flame. She walked through like an angel, and I never knew her name. Now the corner booth feels colder, though the sun still hits the same. I still sip the cup she poured me back when I didn't know her name. I wrote a letter in a diner somewhere west of Abilene, on a napkin stained with coffee and a fingerprint of dreams. You were gone 5 years by then, but your ghost still hitched a ride in every jukebox song and silence that I kept locked up inside. I never meant to leave that way, didn't think you'd close the door. I was young and full of thunder, now I'm old and keeping score. And every time I tried to mail it, something held me back again. Like maybe pain's more honest when it's only held in pen. This is the letter I never sent, folded tight in consequence, full of words I couldn't say. On the night I walked away, you deserved a better man than the ghost I always meant. So I wrote you down in silence in the letter I never sent. I watched your daughter dancing in a video online. She's got your laugh, your way with light, and not a trace of mine.
I guess you built a better world than I ever thought you could. And I don't blame you for forgetting, I just hoped you never would. And I'd keep that napkin folded like a relic from the war, between the man I should have been and the one who asked for more. This is the letter I never sent, just ink and cheap lament, but every line still burns like truth, every stain's a piece of youth. If you ever find it drifting like a prayer on accident, just know I loved you quiet in the letter I never sent. And maybe love is realer when it's written, not delivered. So here's to all the might have beens, to mercy, time, and rent, and to you, my never lover, from the letter I never sent.
He sat alone at Jackson's bar, midnight sharp, same corner booth. Nursing one shot like a sermon, whispered low in honest truth. The barkeep said he don't say much, but he's seen the world go gray. Used to ride with fire in his hands till the fire walked away. He wore a coat too big for summer and boots too soft for war. Carried silence like a weapon, but never walked out that door. Some say he lost a brother, some say he took a life, but no one dared to ask him why his hand still shook at night. He's the man who sat at midnight where the jukebox wouldn't play, in the town that knew too little and looked the other way. He lit a match for every secret and let the silence burn it right. But he never told his story, the man who sat at midnight. One night a stranger walked in slow, with eyes like a debt unpaid. He said, "You took what mattered most, now it's time your dues get laid." The bar fell into silence like a church with bated breath, and that old man just sipped his whiskey like he'd been waiting death. He said, "Son, I don't deny it, but you don't know all I did, and vengeance won't restore her if you can't forgive the kid." He's the man who sat at midnight with 1,000 ghosts in line, carved his sins in broken windows, left his soul beneath the pine. And he stared down every sorrow like a judge with no respite. But he never told his story, the man who sat at midnight. Some truths are built like coffins, some are born to stay inside. Now the booth stays dark and empty, but the seat is still worn thin. Folks say when it hits midnight, you can almost see him grin. He paid the cost in silence with his back turned to the light, and he took it all with him, the man who sat at midnight.
Jukebox never played again. After he was gone, there was rain on your apartment steps. You said you don't have to go, but I was full of stubborn mouths and fear I couldn't show.
You had candles on the windowsill and coffee going cold. The record played some Conway Twitty like it knew we'd both grow old.
I kissed your cheek, not your lips. That's a choice I still replay.
And every what if that I whisper begins with walking away.
The night was soft as mercy, but my pride was hard as stone. You reached for love with trembling hands, and I left you there alone.
If I had stayed that night, would the stars have felt less far?
Would we be two names on one mailbox and not just memories in a jar?
I still feel your breath in moonlight.
I still dream you hold me tight, but I'll never know the answer if I had stayed that night. I heard you moved to Houston with a man who loves to dance. I hope he sees the way you laugh like he's been given one more chance.
I fold your name into my prayers like a photograph in flame. I don't wish I had you now, just that I'd stayed and known your name.
The clock forgives no minute, the road forgets no light.
And silence holds more meaning than anything I write.
If I had stayed that night, would your tears have turned to gold? Would we have painted autumn mornings in the house where we grew old? I still feel the echo in the rain that tells me I wasn't right, but I'll always wonder gently if I had stayed that night.
Sometimes love knocks once and leaves when no one answers.
Now I write our story backward into my heart's low candlelight, and I'll always live the question: if I had stayed that night. Night still smells like her perfume and ash from a cigarette. We dance like strangers holding history in a room we won't forget. She poured her soul in paper cups, said this ain't love, it's time on loan. But every word she never said still echoes through my bones. I watched her button up her silence as the sunrise kissed her face. She wore goodbye like lipstick and left without a trace. I asked if I could see her when the sun was high and clear. She said some things are better when the morning isn't near. Some loves ain't meant for mornings, they bloom beneath motel moons. They hold you like a promise, but they vanish with the tune. We were real when clocks were broken and shadows held us tight. Some loves ain't meant for mornings, only born to live by night. Talked about forever like it was just a place to pass. Shared names like faded tattoos on a window made of glass. She traced the outline of my hand like she was reading braille of fate, then pulled away so slowly like goodbye arrived too late. She said, don't try to find me in the day you think you knew, not made for afternoon or anything too true. Some loves ain't meant for mornings, they disappear in dawn's regret, like steam across a windshield from the words we never said. We were fire inside a whisper, we were thunder dressed in white. Some loves ain't meant for mornings, they only live beneath the night. So I light one more for memory and I hum our borrowed song. Some loves ain't meant for mornings, but they linger all life long.
They say the road forgives a man if he don't ask it where it goes. But I've been driving past my own life like a bar I never chose. Left Georgia in a rainstorm, left 2 kids and half a name. Told myself I'd send a postcard, but the guilt got in the way. Spent some nights in Amarillo, wrote my sins on bathroom walls, played guitar for folks who never even knew my face at all. But a voice inside kept humming every mile like a scar. Said you ain't starting over, you're just hiding who you are. A man can only run so far before the road starts running back. Every silence that you borrow piles up behind the tracks. You can chase 1,000 sunsets in a beat-up old guitar, but you can't outrun your shadow. A man can only run so far. Met a woman out in Reno. She could see behind my eyes. Didn't ask me about my story, but she knew I lived in lies. She said, you've got hands like heartbreak and a voice like you you'd been shot. Then she poured me half her mercy, and she kept the other half. I asked her why she stayed with me. She just smiled and lit a star. Said we're all just broken comets, falling right back where we are. A man can only run so far before he hits the truth he threw. You can lie to all the strangers, but the mirror still sees you. So I'm headed back to Georgia with this busted heart and scar. 'Cause even cowards find a crossroads, and a man can only run so far. I ain't asking for forgiveness, just a place to plant my boots. Now the road behind me's dusty, but the porch ahead is warm. And I ain't looking back too hard. A man can only run so far. There's a coffee ring on her last letter and a photo turning gray. I read them both 100 times, still don't know what not to say. I told my boy to chase his dreams, but never said how far. He called last week from Michigan, and I just stared at stars. I never said I missed my dad till I saw him in my hands. Never said I feared the silence till the noise was all I had. We all think we'll find the moment to say what weighs the soul, but life don't wait on timing, and the truth ain't always told. These are the things I meant to say when I had more time than fear. Like I'm proud of you and I'm sorry, and I'm glad you made it here. But the clock just kept on ticking, and I thought words could delay. Now all I've got is echoes of the things I meant to say. I never told her she was right when she begged me not to roam. Now the house still smells like flowers, but it don't feel like home. I kept my kindness in a drawer with the watch I never wore, and now both are ticking louder than they ever did before. The days grow short and golden, and I breathe a little slow. Wish I'd said it while they listen, wish I let the silence go. These are the things I meant to say, not in eulogies or prayers, but across the kitchen table with a breath and two good chairs. Now I fold them in a letter, and I hope they find their way to the hearts I left wide open with the things I meant to say. I should have said it sooner, but I guess I'll say it now. So if you hear me in the static of a song you hum today, know I meant it when I whispered all the things I meant to say. Porch light never flickered, even when I disappeared. She'd leave the door unlocked at night, like faith lived without fear.
I missed 100 birthdays, showed up soaked in cheap excuse. Still she held my hand like treasure, like her love was bulletproof.
I told her not to count on me, that I'd just let her down.
She smiled like she'd heard that line in every song in town. And I don't know what kept her when the storms were loud and long, but somehow she stood steady like a lighthouse hums a song. She waited through the weather when I was raining rust through all my torn up pages. She never lost her trust. She could have walked to brighter skies, but stayed through every tether. I never asked for that kind of love, but she waited through the weather.
Came home with nothing left but regret and worn out boots. She said love don't count the miles, it only measures roots.
She cooked my favorite supper like no years had passed at all. And when I cried into my coffee, she just smiled and let it fall.
She said you don't need redemption, just someone who believes. I never needed perfect, just a place for you to breathe.
She waited through the weather while I chased a dying flame. And when the winds would scatter me, she never changed her name. I gave her every reason to leave the past untethered, but she rode home every storm. She waited through the weather.
I asked her once why she stayed. She said, because you're mine.
She waited through the weather, not for who I said I'd be, but for the man she always saw inside the wreck of me. Now I fold her kindness nightly,
Like a prayer wrapped in a feather, and thank the sky I wasn't lost.
she waited through the weather.
The kettle still whistles at 7, like it did when you were here. I memorized its sadness and the way it hides a tear. The curtains still dance in the morning, though no one pulls them wide. Your robe still hangs behind the door, like it's waiting on your stride. Mailbox holds no letters, but I check it just the same. And I keep our song on vinyl so I don't forget my name. The clock don't tick the way it used to since you stopped turning keys, but I still light the porch lamp so your ghost knows where I'll be. I still set the table for two, still pour your favorite tea, still hum the lines you used to miss in that movie's final scene. They say move on and find someone, but they never met you. So I live like you're still coming home. I still set the table for two. Sweaters in the closet I folded every week, like prayers I keep repeating to a God who doesn't speak. I wear your ring around my neck so it's always close to heart, and I talk to your reflection in the mirror after dark. I've learned the art of waiting, like a lighthouse learns the shore, shining light that no one answers, still hoping nevermore. I still set the table for two, still leave the porch swing free, still laugh at jokes you used to tell, though now it's only me. They say love dies with distance, but you live in all I do. Every meal, each morning prayer, I still set the table for two. So if heaven has a window and you're looking down the view, I hope you see the candlelight where I still set the table two. I took the long road home tonight, through towns that time forgot, where every sign still whispered all the chances that I lost. I passed the church we used to sit in, the one with the crooked bell, and the diner where I told you I had nothing left to tell. I was younger, loud and broken, thought the road could wash me clean, but all it did was echo what you already seen. But I heard through a friend of yours, you still leave the porch light on, like you're waiting for a storm to pass or a fool too proud to call. And the porch light's still on after all these years and miles. You still keep a chair wide open, like forgiveness wears your smile. I've been gone too long, done too much, but I swear I've changed. I'm not who I was, that light's for me. I won't be gone, 'cause the porch light's still on. I kept your letters in my glove box, folded like a prayer. I'd read them when the nights got loud, just to feel you still were there. The photos faded, but your words stayed bright like Sunday rain. You said when you're ready, come on home. I'll leave the porch light just the same. And I never thought I'd see this town without shame behind my eyes. But somehow all the wrong I've done feels small beneath your skies. And the porch light's still on through the wind and every trial. You still keep a chair wide open, like Grace been waiting all the while. I ain't perfect, I ain't fixed, but I'm standing here with all I've missed. If love's a place where I belong, then thank God the porch light's still on.
Sometimes home ain't just a house. It's someone who forgives you first.
So I'm walking up the front steps with the sunrise breaking strong, and I'm coming home for real this time. Thank God the porch light's still on.